last week I had folks. All right, we are live Thursday night bass fishing live. We are here. The Classic is 1 week away, Knoxville, Tennessee. Josh, thanks for being here.
Always.
We got a guest coming on. He's running a little behind. He just had supper, but he is on his way. He's going to be here. Don't leave. He's getting ready for the Classic. They just got to Knoxville, Tennessee, and we're going to talk about it here in just a second. If you're watching, tell us where you're watching from. Share this with your buddies. Share this on your pages. Share this in your groups, and let everybody know we're talking about bass fishing. We're talking about Bassmaster Classic. GMan himself, Gerald Swindle, is going to be here in just a few minutes. His wife, Lou, just texted me, said he's getting situated. He's going to be here talking to us. So let us know where you're watching from. Let us know.
Bobby Smith
from Bobby Smith from Ohio. Yeah, Ohio. Rough River, Kentucky. That's Eddie Endicott. Yeah, let us know where you're watching from. And make sure you share this. Give us a like. If you're not following our page, go do that. We shared this in as many fishing groups as we could today because we know that Gerald Swindle is a fan favorite. Oh, yeah. And so people want to hear from him. His time is limited. He just got to Knoxville. He's setting up his camper. He just had supper. His wife texted me, said he's getting situated. So don't leave. He's going to be here. And if you know anything about Gerald, he's going to talk and talk some more. And he's just say it again.
I said, that's what we want.
Yeah. So Scott Butler says, I'm here. And it's been a while, Scott. Uh-oh, here she is again. Do you see him?
Let's see.
I do not. Can he see us? Scott, you've been missing our shows, man. If you're new to this tonight and just on here for the first time, we have a live show on Tuesday nights, and we have usually focused on hunting on Tuesdays. We just started this bass fishing show on Thursdays, and our guest has just arrived with his belly full here. His wife said he's good. Gerald, we appreciate you, brother. You settled in down there in Knoxville?
Man, we just got, we probably got settled about an hour ago, just in time. Yeah, about an hour ago, we cooked supper and a little late getting in, but we're ready.
What'd you have for supper?
Baked potato, steak, and salad. It was like the Lord's Supper before. The Lord's Supper before.
Yeah, you guys are eating good down there. So
yeah,
Knoxville's probably not too far for you, is it?
No, it's about 3.5 hours. We just had a lot of traffic in Chattanooga. Has a lot of construction, so there's wrecks, and it took us about an hour longer than what we normally should to get here. Because Chattanooga's just a mess. But we're up. I mean, I told her, I said we got all the rain gear in, the boots, because it's 100% chance of rain all day tomorrow. So I'm sitting on go, ready to get wet.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I think we're up here in Kentucky, so we're about 3.5 hours too. We'll be down there next week. Looking forward to it. Now you were in. I know your time's limited. We appreciate it, man. And people like to hear from. We were saying before you got on, you are a fan favorite, and what I was getting to is because you're just like one of us, man. You're a Southern guy. You're hard worker, blue collar guy, and just relatable to so many bass fishermen and fans.
I call that redneck. I mean, y'all can call it down to earth country, but I'm straight up country. I mean, I'm as country as cornbread and an onion sandwich.
Love it.
I mean, I just been blessed to make it in an environment where the fans accept you. And I learned early on in my career, don't be ashamed of where you're from. Don't be ashamed of who you are and your accent. It is what it is. I was raised on a farm. All I know is Southern style living. I was raised in a small Baptist church, and it's me. I love to hunt and fish and hang out.
Yeah, that's just how we were. We're from a small town in eastern Kentucky in the mountains, a little town called Harlan, and it's the same way. Me and John are just two rednecks from the hills in eastern Kentucky. So,
I mean, I think that's the key is in life is owning who you are and doing what you love. And I tell a lot of the young anglers when they come into it, I'm like, don't try to recreate your brand in something you're not. Don't be afraid to say who you really are, because trust me, there's a lot of people out there. I've had people ask me, it's like, they all want to know about Matt Robinson. I'm like, you know what? I said, there's a lot of people that relate to him. They live in a trailer. They got their first driveway poured. I said, so don't be afraid to say who you really are. There's no, and at one time coming out, you almost think you should be, you know, because when we go way up north, we're judged for our accent. People like, man, y'all down there from Alabama, man, y'all bunch of dummies. But like, it is who we are. Like, we just country. We don't mean no harm. But it's the way we live too. You know, we live to hunt and fish and go to church. That's about it.
That's the truth right here. Work, hunt, fish, go to church, take care of your family. That's it. Hey, somebody, I don't know, Gerald, if you can see the comment. Sorry, Judge. I don't know if you can see the comments. This guy just said you're the Dale Earnhardt of bass fishing. Now, in the South, that is a heck of a compliment.
That is a compliment. I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate you, bro, because that's saying something, man. And a lot of people say that sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I think you just get comfortable with who you are, you know, and. I've been blessed. I tell people that all the time. I say I got so lucky because fans accepted who you were, and it was my biggest eye-opening experiences. You know, and I guess it's because maybe I came from framing houses and roofing houses and off a farm. Because if I see a dude at the gas station and he's got saws and saw horses in the back, some tuba tins, and he's sitting there with an AFCO sticker in the back window, me and him got something in common because we both drove some nails and we both want to go fishing. So maybe that's the connection.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
So, listen, man, you Tennessee River, I guess this is the first time in maybe 4 years that it's been down there. Last time you had a great day one. You were sitting in 15th, and then day two was rough for you. So, what's that process like?
Day two, I made some really fundamental mistakes. I was in an area I thought I could really do good. And when I say make fundamental mistakes, I was throwing the Lure Jensen speed trap, the little 3/8 ounce, and I decided I was going to boat flip one, and I didn't quite realize how big he was, and I had 4 at the time, and I tried to boat flip like a 4-pounder on 10-pound line, and he broke in midair, and I dove for him. That's my videographer made the video. Then it's when I dove for him. It says you have time to stop talking about your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ because I'm diving out of the boat for him, but. It was just a fundamental mistake that cost me making the top 10, and it really crushed me on day two. I like this area, man. I like the way it fishes. Fort Loudon and Tellico don't fish anything like the Tennessee River part that I fish the most. Pickwick, Wheeler, Gunnersville. It's grass lakes, a lot of different. This here's rock clay, current. It fishes nothing like the rest of the Tennessee River, but I kind of like it. It's kind of a junky, kind of just junk fish around. Throw a little, a slim OG, usually DT6. I'll hit it with a jerk bait and catch one. But you're scrounging every day for that 12 or 13-pound bag, which normally makes the top 10. And I come up here knowing if a man can catch one 18-pound bag and 2 12s, he can win. And that was my intention coming in. And that's how I'm going to practice. I've made a promise to myself every morning sitting in my ice bath. I'm like, you will not fish scared. You will not fish scared. Don't go out and worry about catching 5. Go out and try to hit that home run. Try to catch that meat in one day. Don't be afraid to stay in there with it. Because sometimes in the class, when you get late, so much goes on around it. It's real easy to get caught in that. Hey, I just need to weigh some in. Yeah. I've been to 20 of these now. I don't need to weigh none in. I need to weigh them all in. So
there you go.
I kind of got a different attitude. And I like the way this place fishes. I think what we're going to see different this year that we haven't seen the last couple of times we've been here. If you look at the stats, is we have stable water. Before we here was high, flooding would drop down, was muddy, clear, and warm, and everything was like moving around. So these fish, like in all this rock territory, they don't like that. They want it to be stable. And this time it's going to be stable. We got rain tomorrow, but nothing like torrential. It's just going to be a drizzly rain all day. We're going to have slowly warming temperature. We got 2 cold days, slowly warming, but it's pretty much going to stay the same as water temperature. That's the key. So I think we could actually see a different Fort Loudon than we've ever seen. I suspect without making a cast yet, you're probably going to see a couple of 20-pound bags over the 3 days. And that's why it's always been here. When Ott won it, he had one really big day and just kind of hung in there for 2 days, and that's the key here. So I'm excited.
Go ahead. I was going to say if I remember correctly, the last time the Classic was in Knoxville, and I'm sitting here looking at the weather, I think it was much colder than what it's going to be next week, if I'm not mistaken.
It was free. It was like a mother-in-law's kiss, son. It was cold. It was brutal. It wind blew. Yeah. I can remember being so miserable in practice. I was like, oh my God. I was second guessing every life decision I ever made. And we're going to have that a little bit on Saturday and Sunday because we're going to start out 28 and 23. But before we was here, the water temperature was already 44 to 45, and it was so cold in practice, you couldn't hardly get a bite. So the time the tournament got here, I mean, you got to think about it. You put all that effort into practice and you don't catch nothing. It's a discouraging moment, you know. And this time, though, we're starting out with a little bit warmer water temperature, probably mid 50s to low, I'm going to say 53 to 55. And it'll dip a little, but once this water gets up in the 50s, the Tennessee River starts to come alive in this area.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're watching, we appreciate you. I know we have some people coming on. Some of you probably knew. I think this is our 5th episode of this. Yep. So, Gerald, we've been doing a live show on Tuesdays, mostly focused on hunting. We've done over 100 of those. So this is a new show. We've had who do we have? Keith Poche on. We've had Jordan Lee. So now we got you. So we appreciate you, man. And if you're watching, make sure to share this. Tell your buddies. And Scott Butler's already given me a hard time. I said that I work, I hunt, fish, go to church, and he said, "Don't forget I eat in between all that." So I appreciate that, Scott. We got some heifers. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys are probably thinking about turkey hunting. I mean, because like when we leave the Classic, my wife and I, this is how bad we got it. And
he's back.
Okay, so I told her, I said, here's how we put all the cameras up at the farm. I said, we win the Classic. Here's my leaving the house. I said, we win the Classic. We press conference Sunday night. We do a photo shoot on the water Monday. I said, we can be home by Monday evening. I can be at my farm in Jasper, Alabama by Monday night. I'll be ready to hoot owl call on Tuesday morning. She said, oh, my God. But she wants to kill one as bad as I do because we like eating them. She's like, well, let's get it all done and get home. But
there's already somebody, he's frozen up. He'll come back in just a second. But Bullets for Bucks said he was already asking about turkey. So you froze up for a second there, but we got you.
Yep. This Ethernet we got down here. We own this Elon Musk too. She done bought one of them Elon Musk things. Hey, and it started out good. If I ever, I'm gonna say your first month was good. After that, you sucked it up, son. Like I don't know. The first month, the Elon Musk little old satellite was lights out, and after that, it's just subpar.
Everybody's buying it now, I guess. But no,
that's what my wife says.
Yeah. No, we hear you fine. We were down there last year. Last year was the first time we'd covered it as like a media group, and we had a blast. But I will say, you're talking about winning it, doing a press conference, coming back turkey hunting. After a couple of days, you were pretty tired. I mean, it wears you out down there.
You're running on adrenaline and coffee. I mean, that's what it is. So I get tickled sometimes when people say, man, you really think fishing's athletic like a sport? And I'm like, bro, I just wish you would try it. I wish you would try 2 or 3 weeks in our lifestyle, up and downs, in the boat. But you kind of build up to it. You build an immunity to it. You're not a weightlifter. You're not throwing up 300 pounds on the bench. But you get used to the day in and day out grind, and you can run on adrenaline. I know. I've got my body down to science. I know how many days in a row I can go on 5 hours of sleep or less, how many days, 6 hours, how many calories I need to eat, and that's the key. But I'm not set something out there in front of that to look forward to. So like turkey hunting with my wife, when we get home with just me and her, and she's wanting to sleep in the tent in the front yard with the grandbabies at the farm, like that's my goal. So when I leave home, the vision is win the Classic, take care of business, come home, spend time with the family, kill some turkeys.
Man, that's perfect. Like I can't think.
It seems like every, I guess once the fishing season, the series is over, on your social media, it's all you and Lulu going hunting, getting ready for deer season, man. So I'm right there.
Well, and we try to share it all. I had a discussion this past week with Mountain Dew, and they've reached back out wanting me to do something. I've always been with them under contract, and this last year they decided to remove themselves from the entire side of the fishing. And then they reached back out and like, would you want to do some social posting? Could we pay you? And I'm like, I'm not a social influencer. That's the confusing part. They're like, what? I'm like, I'm not a social influencer. I don't get up in the morning and try to figure out what to wear or what to do. I get up in the morning to live my life. And if I want to post something with me and Lulu, or I'm on the tractor, or my Jack Russell's pooping off a rock and falls in a creek, I'm going to post it. But I don't get up in the morning and say, I need to create a video. And a lot of the big companies, that's what they want. They want people to be social influencers. That's not me. I'm going to show my life in real time what I'm doing. And if people want to watch, and I've just been lucky with that, come deer season, it's me and her. It's going to be coffee on the tailgate. It could be hanging tree stands. But I feel like it's some way the fans in bass fishing, and there's so much media out there, you can't fool people. So why would I be posting? Why would I be posting about, hey, here's a great wintertime tip on gunners? Well, when I'm in Illinois bow hunting, to me, I'm like, no, it just doesn't work that way. But we've been blessed with that people have accepted that that's what we do. You know, of course, my social media is random, man. There's no telling what you're gonna get on there.
I think that's good. You know, some people want to treat us like we're influencers, and we're trying to just do the media thing. But we did strategically wear the Toyota hats. So
there you go. See, that's
maybe we did.
Hey, we have a saying in the fishing industry: you will be a hoe or you will be po. I mean, that's just how it's going to be. And I'm going to print that on a shirt. If you want to fish for a living, you'll be a hoe or be po. Yeah, you will sail. But I do think it's something to staying real and trying to do. There's nothing wrong with this being some old Kentucky mountain boys. I don't see nothing wrong with that in the world.
Absolutely. And now we won't change for anybody. You know, speaking of being yourself, Ryan, I don't know if you can see the comments on your phone. Ryan down here says that he only watches weigh-ins, and he's a young fisherman, only watches weigh-ins for your inspirational speeches, and the classic inspiration is always exceptional. And I think that's why a lot of people are big fans of yours.
Man, and I don't know where all that comes from, because people ask me all the time, you know what you're going to say on stage. And even the last AOI speech, my wife was asking me right up to the time they called my name out at the banquet, like, what are you going to talk about? And I'm like, I don't know. I talk about when I get there. And the Classic's kind of always been that way. It's just whatever comes out, comes out. And, you know, I know that the fans in the stands don't want to hear how much more gas mileage my Mercury gets than somebody else's motor and how fast my Phoenix is. And I tell people, I wouldn't be wearing it or running it if it wasn't the best. Right. So I don't have to sit there and preach that to you. So, like, I just kind of just come off the cuff. And, you know, I do think sometimes the message gets taken right. You know, a lot of people really took that, because I really meant at the time that they play the speech all the time on TikTok about to be a good bass fisherman, you got to learn to lose. Yeah. You really got to learn to lose, because this is a losing sport you'll ever get in. So if you can't accept defeat, this is not going to be a great fit for you. Yeah. You know, and it'll eat you alive. So to be a great winner, you got to be a great loser. And it's funny, it never judges you on the days you win. They judge you on the days you lose and how you handle it. Yeah. That's just human nature.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Maybe you're not the Dale Earnhardt. Maybe you're the Nick Saban.
I don't know. Oh, Nick, he got it going on now.
He does.
Now, I hope they're better this year, because Nick was sloppy last year.
You know, speaking of Nick Saban, hey, Alabama basketball got it done easy today.
Big win today.
Easy.
That's what my nephew, he follows it, and he said, with him and I was talking today, he said, Uncle G, little Trey said, Alabama got a good basketball team. I hadn't got to follow it, but he said they're really good.
They are. They're very good this year.
And Auburn was in a close one, but I think they ended up winning. So I guess you can't have it all, Alabama fans.
I'm an SEC fan. When I go places, people say, man, who you pull for Auburn, Alabama? I said, I lean more toward Alabama, but I'll pull for anybody in the SEC.
Yeah. I can agree
except Tennessee. Like, I have a hard time. I mean, if I go to prison, I want a white jumpsuit. I don't want an orange.
I'm right there with you.
But
I like have a big. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like to see the SEC and the style that they play. You know, hard hitting and aggressive. And of course, I have a lot of sponsors that are from Oklahoma in that area, so we have a lot of great rivalry talks about really playing football. And I always get tickled at them. I'm like, dude, it ain't. I said Oklahoma could get 2 new cheerleaders to be ranked #1 next year and finish up. I said, I don't understand it. They got a new band director. Oh, they're going to be #1. No, they're not. They're not going to be #1. Until we sent them Jalen Hurts, they wasn't going to be #1.
That's the truth. Yeah. Yep. Now, so Tennessee Bassmaster here. He's 14 years old. He's on here every Thursday. Loves bass fishermen or bass fishing. He says that he has always looked up to you, but he did want to. His next comment was, "Remember, there's a Tennessee fan in the comments." So
I love you. I love all Tennessee fans under 18 years old. You know,
there you go.
I got some great friends. I got Wesley Schrader, Andy Morgan, a bunch of them guys from Tennessee, and we have a lot of fun. Yeah. Brad Knight's the biggest Tennessee fan in the world. We have a lot of fun with it. But hey, thanks for the support there, young man. Keep
Absolutely.
your head up in bass fishing. I think bass fishing offers a home for so many age groups, kids that get out there and find out something they love, they fit in, and they stay in. So that's one thing I like to
Yeah.
see is the young anglers coming in. You know, you always the perfect scenario is see, hey, I don't see a father take his son, but a lot of times that's not out there. But the good thing is
Yeah.
there's enough information on podcasts and YouTube where young kids can sit and watch and learn to fish. They may not have that father figure in their life to go mentor them and do that, but they can learn to fish.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. So we
Absolutely.
got Mike Collins. He's one of our buddies. He helps us run Eastern Outdoors Media. He usually helps John on Tuesdays run our show. And he had a question earlier. He said, what is your go-to lure for days where fish are being extremely fickle with their strikes? So just days that are super tough, just really can't get a bite. What's kind of your go-to lures?
It's weird. I have two that I find myself falling back on a lot, and it's weird. It's a jerk bait and a shaking head. And it's totally different. But those are two baits I know when I pick up at some level I can get a bite. I think with a jerk bait, it's the most underestimated. And I've known this for years, but now live scope's exposing it. Just how deadly a jerk bait can be year round. You can trigger a bass to bite a jerk bait if you work at it year round. Now, you may not catch them all, but it may catch me the one or two fish it takes to fill my limit and move on. And prime example, Seminole on day 3, I just pretty much milked my area out. I had 2 little fish. I even threw a jerk. In the tournament, I never had jerked. I had one little place I was jerking, and I ran down there to it, ran all the way through the timber, picked the jerk bait up, caught like 3-pound-and-a-halfers and a 4-pounder, put it back in the box, and took off again. And I said, so that's all you're going to do? I said, that's all I needed it for. But like, it shows you how strong a jerk bait can be and how versatile. But you can take a Zoom trick worm on a shaky head, 3/16, 4 ounce, fish it about anywhere you go and get some bites. But those are really good fallback baits when you get them bind.
Now, Bobby Smith says the Berkeley Stunner for the win. What is your go-to? What's your
I'm
setup?
I'm gonna go with it, Bobby. I'm gonna go with it now. Now, Rapala has just now come out with a brand new jerk bait, and it's going to be released at iCast. So I've just I've been throwing some samples now for about 4 months, and I've got 8 more baits that were shipped into me here, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you I really like it. But I will be super complimentary on the Hank Cherry. The Stunner is a very good jerk bait. The one that's out there, they got really good color selections. But I think if you give it a chance, when we come out with a Rapala, you sit at iCast, you're gonna like it. But I love some jerk bait fishing. I do. I really like it too. I like everything about it because you can get in every part of the water column, the patience. And I'm going to start out in the morning, and I'll be jerking a lot.
There you go. You mentioned Hank Cherry, and Josh and I talked last year about, and I've told a lot of people this when they ask about what's it like being at the Classic and interviewing guys, and I've said, last year was. I've been around sports all my life. It was one of the most tense and most stressful situations. As you had like 5 anglers left, everybody in the back's talking about Kyle's bag, how big it was, but Jason is, you don't know what he's got, this and that. And then the heartbreak on Kyle and the elation on Jason at the end. I mean, you just can't create that anywhere else. But you look
that's
now
what makes it
and
special.
Kyle's not even in it, so.
No, that's the hard thing about bass fishing. Kyle messed around and really had his toughest year ever last year, and I'm great friends with him, and we talked long and hard about it, and it's killing him because he had such a great run last year. Kyle and I was talking and working together last year, and he had so many opportunities to put that. But let me tell you what I think special about Kyle Welcher, and it sums it up. When that tournament was over, we'd been talking a lot, going back for the Coliseum, talking to his wife. I looked in his live well, I'm trying to guess his weight. I looked in Christy's live well, I'm trying to guess his weight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, God. I said, this is going to be a lot closer. The look on Christy's face when he come in the Coliseum, he didn't think he had it won. All right, so I talked to Kyle when it's over, and I said, Kyle, how are you? Are you good mentally? He said, I'm fine. I said, you sure? He said, I didn't fish the winning tournament, and I don't deserve the winning prize.
Oh,
guys, that's strong. That's strong.
Like
he in his heart knew. He knew in his heart that he had lost several big fish, broke some off. There's things just didn't go right. He said it would have been a miracle if I'd have won. He said if I would have fished perfect and lost, it would have bothered me a lot more. So I'm like, yeah, this guy's ready for the big time. And he's off to a great start this year. I talked to him. He's a great start this year, getting ready to come back. And I look for us to see him at Tulsa when we get there. We're all try to get back. But he's a good fisherman with a great his mindset, dude, coming from professional card player to fishing.
Yeah.
His mindset and his mental stability, like, dude, like he don't pressure doesn't bother him. He'll just tell you straight up, pressure is what you put in your car tires. It don't bother me.
Yeah, we were on Kyle before he made the elites because he was putting out great fishing content. I mean, if you just wanted to learn. You know, it was the first time. It was several years ago. First time I'd been down to Chickamauga, and he's the guy I was watching. You know, and because he was crushing it there. So we love Kyle. He's
watching his videos. I still don't understand how he skips jigs the way he does. It's
perfect placement. Perfect placement.
Yeah, like every cast is like pinpoint where he wants to put it. It's insane.
Yep. Practice. And I've enjoyed talking to him and getting to know him so much and seeing that young. Because that reminds me so much of me at that age. It was just eat, breathe, sleep, cash, fish, cash, left-handed, right-handed, underhanded, backhanded. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to build a 25-year career. You know, so when I look back at that, I kind of sit back and just smile. I'm like, that was me. That was me. So I just didn't have as nice a boat. I was still framing houses at that age, but that was me.
Well, now,
and honestly, I always knew like the Bassmaster Classic was the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl of professional fishing. But it wasn't put into perspective for me until I seen the final day and they were on stage. That's just, dude, that's insane.
I think everybody talks about like, hey man, this is a Super Bowl, but the people that come there and feel that energy in that Coliseum and how it goes down, it changes their life. And that's Carl Jockinson is a dear friend of mine, and that was one thing I talked to him about yesterday on the phone. I said, Carl, this is your first classic. It's in Tennessee. You don't live far from there. I said, if I can tell you one thing, to take it in, absorb the moment. It's the greatest energy in the world. That's why I think the Classic has stood out from everything else. There's never going to be another championship or another type of tournament with a no-fish weigh-in. The fish are the stars and the anglers are the stars, and nobody knows what's in that live well till it hits the scales. And the suspense is strong, and you see the one takes the crushing blow and one leaps above them, and it's like, that's the dream. That's why you're here, you know. And it sucks that somebody's got to lose. It just happens that way. But the energy in that Coliseum is unreal.
It is. It's electric. Hey, you know, speaking of you and Kyle, one thing you both have in common are very supportive wives. And we were talking last year. Josh had made an observation about Lou. Josh, tell him what you told me earlier about her and some of the other anglers.
Yeah, so it was, you know, we were at the ramp. I think we got there. I can't remember if we got there on day 1 or day 2.
We were there day 1.
This is day 1. So we get there on day 1, and I can't remember exactly what day it was, but, you know, we ended up coming down to the ramp. We were taking some videos, and some of the anglers were putting their boats in. Well, all of a sudden,
let me say this. Some anglers were putting their boats in, and some not so smoothly.
Yeah, it was, you know, some of them were having a little bit of it, like nothing crazy, but you could tell it wasn't
a little crooked,
as smooth as it should have been. Well, all of a sudden we see you pull up, and, you know, honestly, it's our first Classic, and you pull up and you're in the boat, and I look in the driver's seat, and it's Lulu. She just whipped that thing in there, backed it up, took off, and I was like,
pro, man.
Wow, dude.
Hey, she don't play around, man. And that's her deal, man. She don't play. You know, she pulls, when we're on the road a lot, she pulls a 45-foot toy hauler. A lot of places she goes, like, she's straight country, and that's her deal at the ramp. And it's a big help to me because I don't have to go park the truck and get my marshal in. I get my camera guy in and we take off. But that partner for me, and I've had people ask me sometimes, like, how did you teach her to back a boat? And I said, I didn't really teach her. I just said, can you help me do this? And I got out of the way and shut my mouth. I said, the problem with most men is they want to stand up there and yell at them, cut the wheel here and cut the wheel. I said, just let her figure it out. Yeah. Now, I could tell you one time at Toledo Bend, the ramp was tough and it was dark and she couldn't see, and she went, it was a little crooked that morning. And I come in that evening and I knew I had like a full tank of gas in my Tundra. When I come in, I literally got a half tank of gas, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what have you done all day? She said, I have been at this ramp for over 6 hours, backing in, turning around, and going back it in. She was going to perfect that ramp, which just shows it it shows that she wants to do things right as much as I do. But it's funny that a lot of men notice that like this woman can buy. I said this woman can plow fields. When we go plant, she's got her tractor. I got mine. Like we do our own deal.
You know what?
Absolutely.
I think I just learned something from you because I think I need to take a little, page out of your book when my wife is doing stuff sometimes.
A little patience, yeah.
Just keep my mouth shut sometimes,
I that's what and I think that's what most men, because we're from the South. So if we see a woman backing in or we think a woman's having trouble, we immediately at Southern Jim, we're like, hey, can I help you? And turn this and turn that. And it's probably the most, I don't know, I want to say the most interference we can do at that time. Just let her figure it out. Just let her figure it out. Because I see men and they're like, man, I can't teach my wife that for nothing. I was like, it's because you're standing up there yelling at her. Just go get your butt in the boat. And when she gets the truck in the water, put it on the trailer. But I'm like, yelling at her makes her nervous. If you'll just let her figure it out, once she gets it, it's done.
Yeah, that's I think you're right. It's just our nature to jump in. We're not
help.
We're just trying to help. We're just trying to help.
It's just Southern people, man. We want to help and we want to go say, because I'm guilty of it. If I see somebody at the gas station having trouble, I want to help them. But I tell people at the ramp, let your wife figure it out on her own.
Yeah. Hey, I was looking today on the Bassmaster website. They come out with their predictions and their odds to win. And I know none of that really means anything once you guys get out there. But I think they had Polinick and I know Polinick and Gustafson were two of the top ones. There's a guy from Tennessee they had up there, and I can't remember his name. I know you know him, but anyway.
Buddy Gross?
No, it wasn't Buddy. I think I remember Buddy.
Brandon Lester?
Maybe it was Brandon Lester. Anyway, what going in here and some people have, like Gustafson he caught a lot of smallmouth last time, which is a little different down there. Do you see someone that you're like, man, I think they're gonna have a good tournament, or is it just unpredictable?
It's so unpredictable because it's hard to judge all the variables. It's not like if we set in a regular elite series and you let me practice 2 days, I could probably go ahead and pick 4 or 5 of the top 10 after 2 days of practice because I know everybody's style and it's pretty stable. But here, the environment changes, the crowd, the pressure, the responsibilities anglers have on and off the water. So just picking a great shallow water fisherman may not be good. You got to try to figure out who's in the right mindset. No one really stands out. I think there's some great anglers that could mix it up. I think that young Canadian angler, so you have Gussie, I call him Gussie. Gussie won last time, but his little protege that he's been with forever in Canada, I call him Little Goliath. He has a funny last name. Rookie this year. You better keep your eye on him.
Is it Shakur? It's not Shakur. He's rookie last year.
No, this is how do you say his last name, man?
Cooper Gallant.
That's him. Just
we got a Canadian here watching, so he knew the name.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cooper's a real deal. Gussie's a real deal. So like some of them guys could have a great chance. And I'm not saying that you might not see one of the Japanese anglers or somebody that commits full time to live scope and have a chance. But with the water being stable, it's anybody's game this time.
Yeah.
Anybody. I mean, from Hackney, myself, Jason Christie, the guys that can mix it up on the bank. It's just so hard to guess. The Classic's one that I never really like to try to guess because it'll burn you every time.
Well, I was looking at that today and I was like, you know what? If this was really like a betting situation, I would lose so much money on these odds they have here because
I can nail it. Like in the Elite Series, I could nail it. My wife was playing on the fantasy team with the Toyota people and employees a couple of years ago. In the first couple of tournaments after it was over, they kicked us out. They're like, "Okay, you got inside information." Because if I practice 2 days, I'm like, "All right, I can tell you like sight fishing to go with." So she was lights out. They thought she was Miss Fishing Guru. She just come here at dinner. She go, "Okay, who's my pick?"
There you go. Yeah.
But this one's so different because you have time off between practice. Things can change. It's just such a hard guess.
Yeah, and there's always somebody that maybe a slow first day, and then they have a huge bag on day 2 and they're right
I call it it's always the dark horse. You always got that one guy that's just like stumbled on day 1 and just crushes it on day 2. So like sometimes I have more fun looking for the dark horse. Like who's the guy that you're not expecting to win, but very well could win.
Yeah. That's one reason I mentioned Jay Shakira, who he was a rookie last year. And I'll go ahead and tell you, Gerald, he came onto our show last year, which was our Tuesday night show. And after that, he took off. He won Rookie of the Year. So we may just be good luck.
Hey, y'all come on down and let me win. Yeah, y'all let me win this. We'll turkey call all the way around that Coliseum with no clothes on. Y'all ain't got to worry about it.
There you go.
We ain't got to worry about it. But guys, I'm going to get ready for bed. I'm going to say thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely.
And, all the fans out there in the Kentucky area, thanks for the support. And I look forward to seeing you guys down here in Knoxville.
We'll be there.
We got to get up in the morning and start chasing it down. So you guys were my last appointment for the evening, and y'all were the nicest looking of the day because y'all are the only 2 I could see so far.
There you go, man. Hey, we'll take it any way we can get it. Hey, brother, we appreciate you, man. We'll see you next Thursday, and after you win, maybe we'll have you back.
You got it, man. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you. All right. That was good. Good conversation. Look, was there ever any doubt that it wouldn't be a good conversation?
Of course not, man.
Right. So, honestly, I don't think we've met between Major League Fishing and Bassmaster. I don't think we've met one professional angler that's not likable. Now, there were a couple last year. There were a couple last year that we got them on a bad day, and they were just short. They didn't want to say much, but that was understandable. I mean, you're at the Classic.
They're exhausted, when I say like I know there's some people in here, you fish tournaments, like a 1-day tournament, and you fish all day, your back's hurting, you're exhausted. Like, dude, these dudes do it. And it's not like, and I think this was on the Tennessee River, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was, I think I heard Hank Cherry talking about it, and I think Mike Huff was talking about it, that where they do the weigh-ins was 45 minutes from the ramp. So they would go to the ramp, 4 in the morning, go fish all day, come back, load everything up, drive 45 minutes back to do weigh-ins. That takes like 2 hours. You do your weigh-ins, then you rig up everything for the next morning. You sleep like 2-3 hours, and then you're right back at it again. Like, dude, they're exhausted. Like it's ridiculous. And I'll tell you who I think has a very good chance as well. I know we were talking about odds.
A prediction here.
I'm not going to say that he definitely has a shot of winning it.
Yeah, well, they all do.
I definitely think Iaconelli's going to be in the top 10 for sure.
I will bet you $1,000 he won't be.
Okay, is he not fishing it?
He's not. He didn't qualify.
Are you sure? Are you?
I'm positive.
Sure? I'm gonna go check.
He had listen, he's one of my top 5 favorite fishermen of all time. He's one of my top favorite athletes of all time. But he had a rough year. He had a really rough year.
He qualified when I looked at the list.
Now, last time he finished 5th, it was there, I think. 4th or 5th he finished last time.
That is the exact reason. The last time he fished it in Knoxville, he did great.
Yeah. So he didn't make it this time, unfortunately. I'm just pulling for the guys that we've interacted with and I really like. Like Keith Poche was great. He was super nice.
Yeah.
Obviously Gerald is just phenomenal.
Dude, I honestly, I would love to see Gerald go down there and knock it out of the park and win it, dude.
He needs one, man. He said he's been there 20 times, but he don't have a classic championship. Yeah, so he needs
love to see him win it, man. I would love
2-time Angler of the Year, and it would be like the icing. I mean, he's had a great career. He's made almost $3 million. He's got, the biggest following probably. Him and Iaconelli probably have the 2 biggest followings. And this would just be like the icing on the cake to his career. And I would love to see it. And I tell you what, I know that Bassmaster, it's a clean tournament and they're very well-run organization. But if I'm the top executives of Bassmaster, I want Gerald Swindle at that weigh-in on championship day in the top 2, because win or lose, he's going to make it memorable.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And if he holds that trophy up, it'll be a moment one of the best moments in bass fishing history because of his authenticity and what he'll bring to the table. I would love to see it.
Somebody like I would love to see Gerald win it. I'd love to see Shakurat win it. I'd love to see, dude. There's so many people I'd love to see.
Now Shakurat's like 25, so he's going to have plenty of these. Gerald,
I would love to see Gerald because Gerald's been doing it so long, and he is like the standard for professional bass fishing. Not just fishing, like knowing how to fish or his skill set, just his personality, who he is as a person. And I love the way he put it about, being an influencer. He just is living his life.
He's just himself.
He's being who he is. And, people either accept
he's not an influencer. He is a man. He's a good man who has influence. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Billy Outdoors said, Billy, first of all, it's glad to have you back. Good to have Billy back. She was on, we were talking about trapping, and I thought she just ditched us because we weren't talking about trapping anymore. Trapping season ended in Kentucky and most states. But she's back to talk fishing. She said, GMan is so great to listen to. He's a pro I could listen to all night. Most are pretty full of themselves. He's quite the opposite. Yeah. I don't know if I'd say most, but there are some that have some arrogance to them. Mm-hmm. Those are not the ones you're going to see on this show. One, because they don't care. But Jackson says G is the real deal. He sure is. Scott said that fishing the Classic is kind of like my boat. You're broke down. So I'm just glad Scott's back, man. I thought I made him mad or something.
I thought, here it is.
He said the drywall's been hard on him.
Scott said, how the hell am I going to get my wife to let me get another boat? To ask for forgiveness after deal or what? If I can find a decent boat. And I think we were talking about when it was when we were talking about Gerald and Lulu and everything. And I said, I'm going to take a page from his book and just shut up. And he was like, how can I get her to let me buy a boat? Dude, you said it the best, dude. Just when she goes to work, go to the dealership, get your boat, come back home, be like super excited. If you buy a brand new boat, or even a nice, very, brand new to me is a used boat. That's brand new to me.
New to you boat. Well,
with the boat you love, and then she can't be anything but happy for you. I mean, come on.
I mean, it can only go one or two ways. So you got 50 shot. Billy says she's not ditched us. Fishing is her thing. Billy, it's our thing too, honestly. Mm-hmm. We love to fish. Now,
show them what you got from
from Omnia?
Yeah, from Omnia.
Now I've got a visitor. I got a big, tall 9-year-old girl in here. What do you want? She's hungry, I think. What are you saying? Anyway, she'll be fish. She likes to fish, so you want to come say hi?
Hey, I'm right there. I'm right there with you, man.
This is my girl right here.
Miss
She's
Ellis.
a little shy.
I love you, girl.
I'll be in there in about 15 minutes.
Scott, my wife.
She's scared because it's dark in the house. We'll just turn all the lights on. Run the juice bill up.
The best wife, man. She's been my biggest supporter the last 10 years, but you don't want to piss her off.
His wife breathes fire. All right, I'll be in there in a minute. So the reason Scott's talking about that is he posted an ad or maybe Marketplace or something today. Honey, just turn all the lights on. Anyway, or just sit down there and wait on me. He posted an ad today of a very overpriced boat. But Scott, I sent Josh an ad today. Tyler Bloyd, TYLERBLOYD, is selling his boat. It's 20 years old, but it's got live scope. It's got a 20. The motor's a 2020. The lower unit's 2020. It's decked out in electronics, and he only wants $12,500 for it. I thought it was a great price.
It's a nice boat too.
It's a really nice boat. It's
an older boat, but dude, it easily get the deal done.
Yeah,
easily get it done.
Man, our guy Thomas Collins says he's coming over Sunday to the Classic Club tourney on Saturday. Thomas, make sure you holler at us, text us, message us. We'd love to get together.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that we didn't talk about Gerald with is outside of the fishing. So what we do is I'll send it to you as soon as we get off here, Scott. So what Josh and I do. Stop. Get down there. Gosh. I might let her play with my hooks down here. What Josh and I do is we go to the boat ramp at like 5:30. We get some video of them backing down. And we were serious. Lou is a heck of a driver. She backs that truck right down the ramp. The best part, and I meant to ask Gerald what his favorite part was outside of like actual fishing, because Josh and I are talking about the best part of the whole day is when they do the national anthem. Stop. When they do the national anthem, because there's so much respect there for it from the fans, from the boaters, from the fishermen, and they just watching you. It's just a great atmosphere. Like the reverence for the national anthem and the build up, the build up, because that's the last thing before the boats start pulling out. It's awesome. And after they all pull out and start fishing, we go back to the expo, which has all the fishing vendors you want. Strike King's going to be there. Rappala's going to be there. Toyota will have the biggest booth there. And then the reason Gerald don't want to be there is because guys who lose and don't make the cut, they go and hang out at the expo.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just a great time.
The national anthem is, if you watch the Super Bowl this year and watch Chris Stapleton, just how emotional he was, and the crowd and the players and the coaches, dude, at the Bassmaster Classic, the national anthem is, you can just feel the respect all the anglers have and the people. It's an emotional.
You can feel,
yeah,
you just
really
feel
is.
like the heaviness of the moment. Like this is the real deal. So we may have some dueling. Ryan wants to know where I saw that boat. I saw it on Tyler's Facebook. I'm friends with him. Scott wants it. So Tyler, ask Tyler for a commission.
Sounds like we need to do a waffle.
A waffle, yeah. Let's do a raffle. $1,000 chances, 30 we got 30 spots, $1,000 each. One of you going to win a boat. Scott said if you see him fishing in a boat, then he did okay. If you never see him again, then he's dead. So there's his 50-50 chance. It sounds like, high risk, high reward. It's a nice boat.
I'll take that chance.
He screwed up when he sold his 19-foot javelin a few years ago, he says.
Hey, man, I've been fishing. I don't have a bass boat, but I've been fishing out of a little 14-foot. I call it, and people judge me all the time when I say it. I say it's a John boat, but it's like a deep V style boat. And I just call it a deep V John boat. That's what I call it. And me and my wife and my son go in that thing and fish. And, dude, I've caught more big bass out of that than anything.
Yeah. Well, now, Josh is going to be buying a house within the next year. So I told him, don't buy a boat yet. Yeah. Wait till you buy a house. And then do what I did. When we moved in this house, the next week I bought a boat. So
I'm going aluminum too. I'm not going fiberglass. I know fiberglass is we got the fiberglass junkies out there that that's all you're allowed to fish out of. But I'm seriously considering going out of aluminum. I really like aluminum boats.
Jimmy said his last boat was a 20-foot Sun Tracker pontoon boat. Sold it when he relocated from Florida to Kentucky. Jimmy and I told him when I get my boat fixed, I'm going to come pick him up down there in Richmond. We're going to go fish. All I got to do is get it maintenance, and it just needs a good oil change, a tune-up. I was going to say something, Joshua, but I don't remember.
I appreciate that, man. I also know a guy that can help me get.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, Jimmy. If he doesn't go to that guy, I'll be doing this show by myself. So there you go. If you see me doing this show by myself, Josh did not use me as his realtor. So.
Well, I don't know much about how the paychecks go for realtors, but I'll tell you this: I'm looking to get about 5 to 10 acres with a house on it. So I assume it'd be a good little.
I'm wanting you to spend as much money as you can. Okay.
I know that.
I'm just joking. Ryan says he'll give you a tune-up for your services. Ryan, I must have missed the first comment. Brotherly love right there. That's right. W.O., I saw that South Lake is open down there. I told Josh he needs to holler at you.
Yep, it is the Jordan Lee. This lake sucks. I can't get my hands right here. Whoop, over here. Whoop, right there. There we go.
Oh, I was about to say we can see it.
Yeah, I actually wanted to get one when Jordan first posted them on his Facebook page, and my wife seen them before I did, and she ended up getting them. Like, she seen him post them, she got on there and ordered me and her both one. We both love Jordan Lee, man. He's a good dude, great fisherman. Yeah. Anyway,
and if you're him,
man, it's great.
If you're new to this show, we had him on 2 weeks ago. Yep. We talked a little bit Red Crest. We had him and his buddy John Smith on. John is a good friend of ours, a mutual friend between us and Jordan. Excellent bass fisherman. There's a lot of good guys who can fish who aren't pro. I did see a guy the other day that said, I'd like to see all these guys fish without electronics and see what they can catch. And I replied and I said, they'd still catch more than you. And he said, I bet I can catch more than you. I said, probably, but I'm not complaining. So Eric Hubbard. Eric was in Lexington, which is 20 minutes from me. He was in Lexington this weekend, or last weekend through the middle of this week. And all the way from Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. And we just couldn't link up together. But he's going to be at the Classic. I was so upset that we didn't get to go have lunch and talk fishing. But he's going to be at the Classic, and we're going to hang out with Eric too. Thomas said we're killing it with guests. We're going to try. I'll tell you what. I texted Gerald yesterday morning. I told Josh, I said, hey, I've not gotten any replies on a guest. I'm texting Gerald Swindle right now. I text him. He never texts me back. And then this morning, his wife texted me and said, hey, send me the link. He can do it. We're going to be getting to Knoxville tonight. Send me the link. He can at least do it for 30 minutes. And I said, yeah, even if it's 10 minutes. Yeah. So
I get it, man. I mean, he's about to starting from the day he started traveling to Knoxville all the way through next Monday.
It doesn't slow down.
He's going to be so tired, man. Him and Lulu, both of them. I mean, they're going to be exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, not all of them have wives and stuff down there. Whether they're not married or they don't travel with them. But Kyle Welcher and Gerald are the two that their wives are like.
Yeah.
They're taking pictures. They're taking videos. They're like their manager sort of.
Hey, we got our followers about cut in half since Gerald left, but
you think
we got about 14 in here right now, and Thomas.
No, we got 20. We got 20.
I said, well, we got 20. Whatever we got.
Cheat us.
Thomas said we're killing it with guests. We've had my buddy Jackson on. We've had Jordan Lee. We've had Keith O'Shea. We've had Gerald tonight.
Dalton Smith and Jason Kahn, which sounds like a law office.
It does. Who would you guys like to see next? That's what I want to know. We got the class coming up. We probably are not going to go live next Thursday because we're going to be at the
We'll have some video, though.
Yeah, we'll be posting some video. But whether it's Major League Fishing or about the Elite Series or even, on the lower stages of that, BFLs or Toyota Series, who would you guys like to see on next?
So Jordan just brought up something we didn't mention. So next Thursday, as Josh and I are on our way to Knoxville, it is also the championship day for Major League Fishing at Cherokee and Douglas. So instead of going to the media day with Bassmaster on Thursday, we're going to go to Major League Fishing event, and we're going to do the, try to interview some of the whoever won and some of the anglers there, and then go to Bassmaster the next morning for the boat launch.
Yeah. And I'd say we'll have more content this year. Last year we were kind of getting our feet wet, trying to figure things out at the Classic.
Yeah, didn't know what we were doing.
We understand that when you get there, you just got to jump into it. You just got to go for it, and because that's what everybody else is going to do. Yeah. So that's our plan this year.
And here's the thing: there are guys there, and I'm not talking about how great we are. I'm just talking about kind of the approach you have to take. There are going to be guys there that have $3,000 to $5,000 cameras and all this gear and microphones, and they're going to be wearing button-up shirts. Dude, we just squeeze in with our phone and say, "Hey, what do you think? How do you think it's going to go today? What do you got on your front deck? What went wrong yesterday? And we just jump in there. Last year we were a little hesitant because you don't want to. You got guys, working on their gear and stuff before they go out, and you don't want to interrupt. But the truth is, most of them are cool with it. Yeah. Most of them will sit there and mess around with their gear while they talk to you, which I'd rather watch that anyway.
Me too. Scott Butler sent me some pictures, man. Del Hollow pre-fishing for the training today. Scott, do you care if I show one of your pictures here? Or John, I'll send them to you. I'll send them to
me and I can share them, yeah. So Bobby Smith said he wants to see Greg Hackney. Excuse me, Lee King. Lee is Canadian, and he wants to see Carl Jochimson, who is Australian. So, hey, that's pretty cool dynamic. Carl Jochimson. Let's see. That was Luke Duncan. Could be a good one. Unique career path, entertaining. Yeah, Luke. I just saw something about Luke Duncan. What did I see about him? I don't remember. Lee said, or any of the Canadian guys. The Canadian guys, you got the Johnson brothers. You got I just
I'd
named
love
him
to have.
earlier.
I'd love to
Dobson?
have Iaconelli on, Jordan. He is one of mine and John's favorites. And I told him last year when we parked at the Classic Expo, I think it was the last day, and maybe it was, I don't know if it was the Expo or the weigh-ins. I think it was the Expo. But we get there and we look up when I parked.
It was the last day.
And he was parked directly across from us, like in the grass or something. Like it was, I'm like,
he had a park just like us.
I was like, Iaconelli's got to pay for parking just like we do. And I just, dude, and we actually seen him on the way out and getting in his truck. We didn't want to bother him. And I actually had to take a nap in the truck.
That was, Josh was like 2 weeks post-surgery.
Yeah.
And he had a big incision from like his belly button to his chest or something.
All the way through.
So he was kind of out. So he's like, man, I need to go sit in the truck for a little bit. And so we both fell asleep. And then Iaconelli was going to his truck. And I'm like, I'm not chasing him down.
Yeah.
We'll
and what I wanted to do was, I told John when we were there, I said, dude, I just want to sit here. I want to sit here and wait for him to come out, get out his truck, and just video just one time. Just, hey, Mike, give us one of those. Never give up.
Yeah. I would say everybody asking that, though. I want to say something different.
I would.
I don't like to ask the same questions. PK says he's late to the party. PK, party's just starting, brother.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
Go back and watch the replay.
I just sent you those photos of Scott. Put them up on here. You said you can share them.
Okay, I see. Ryan says Dakota Ebear probably, and Tyler River are on fire right now. Get them on here. I'm not familiar with Tyler River.
I think it might. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Is it Rivet? Is it maybe a Tyler?
Oh, Rivet. Yeah. Okay.
Rivet, I think.
Okay. Let's see. Jocumson, Latimer. Oh, listen, Brian Latimer. I would love to get him on here because he's not even on the big, the Bass Pro Tour or Bassmaster, but he is one of the best social media guys out there, and just teaching on what he does. And Ott Defoe, I don't know if you can beat that guy. He's just
down there.
Ike, Ebear.
Jimmy says, how about going old school? Look for some OG Bass Pros. I'll tell you who I would love to get on here that I love his videos is Bill Dance. I love Bill Dance, dude.
So there's always an issue, though. What's going to be the issue of getting Bill Dance on here?
Technology.
Yeah, that's the hang up. So can Bill Dance access it? He's entertaining too. I don't know. Matt Robertson's always a good one.
Oh, yeah.
He's hard to get a hold of, though.
He is. He's
I think when Matt Robertson isn't fishing competitively, he's still fishing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He fishes all the time. But I'd love to have, Kevin Van Dam's retiring. I'd love to have him on. The GOAT. Jesse Wiggins would be a good one. Buddy Gross would be a good one. He's funny. He's not a great big talker, but
I'd like to get Michael Neal as well. Michael Neal's a heck of a fisherman, dude.
This person caught a 7-pound, 4-ounce bass today. Maybe we should have them on.
It's big fish. Who is that? Who is that commented said caught 7.4?
Our biggest show. This is our 6th show. And the one with the most viewers were not the pros. It was the fishing guides from Texas.
Yeah.
Who caught a 17-pounder.
Con and Smith.
Yep. Attorneys at law. Let's see. Yes, Rivet, Del Hollow. Oh, that's not Scott. It's a
hey, listen,
for BFL.
Eric Hubbard just said y'all ought to get Randy
Blockhat
on and talk live scope. Listen, Eric, I told John this was probably a year ago. I made a video. If you have TikTok, and I swear to you, I go to his YouTube page because a lot of this stuff is very confrontational. Like everybody gets tore up when he posts. So I get on there and I'm looking at his stuff, and there's this rig. I can't remember what it was called, but basically you put a swivel on one end. It's really weird. If you go to our TikTok and see it, you'll see me because basically I seen his video and I was like, oh, I'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. So I just made a video like, hey, I seen this guy doing basically this rig. I'm going to give it a try. So I show him how I set it up. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go out and try it. Next day, I'm at like 20,000 views, and every comment is basically like, look at this dumb redneck. Thinking
it
was
great.
And back then I was like, dude, these guys are like, why are they dogging me? But now I don't care. It's like
It's because of Randy Blockett.
But it was, yes. And everything I watch of him, dude, everybody is. It's either they're with him or they're really against him.
Okay, well, you know what? We like controversy, so I'm with it. I want him to come on. All right, here's Scott's buddy. This is at Kentucky Lake. Oh no, he said this is where?
Dale Hollow.
Dale Hollow. Uh-oh. A little long arm in there. There right there is two good looking fish right there.
Look at the largemouth that he caught. That's a fat one.
Hold on.
I don't know if that's largemouth or spot. I don't know how do you tell the difference between largemouth and spot? Is it just on the inside?
Jawline, their tongue. That's what I like right there. Dale Hollow, man. Dale Hollow is a great fishery. I mean, it is on fire. Hey, Lee says Roland Martin. I'd like to have a son, Scott, actually.
Scott, hey, watching Scott at the Classic was impressive because he's, you got all the fishing going on, his social media, and he does all of his own social media. And the whole time, man, he's got a GoPro doing his thing. Yeah, just doing his thing. It was impressive.
WO says he's hearing 20 to 30 pound stringers on Kentucky Lake. Yes, 25 pounders routine. I'm seeing that all the time.
Matt Robertson is killing it on Kentucky Lake right now.
Yeah, all the time. Let's see. Somebody else messaged me. Oh, Mike messaged and said he was commenting on fish.
That's a spot. I was thinking it was. Yeah, I knew that.
Let's see. Brandon Lester, Michael Neal, Matt Robertson, Ken Duke. I don't know Ken Duke. Is that guy run the steakhouse in Harlan?
Ken Moody?
Yeah. But they had the Duke steak, though. This person once caught an 8-pound, 10-ounce hog. This is not a hog catcher. This is bass fishing.
The biggest fish. What's the biggest fish you've caught, John? Was it up at St. Clair?
5-pound smallmouth and 5-pound largemouth equal.
Both.
It was like the largemouth was like 415. So
did I remember the biggest bass I caught was actually like 2 weeks after the Classic last year, and Tawny, I made her go fishing with me to unload the boat because I couldn't do it, and we didn't catch fish all day. And I put a red square bill on. And literally, it was like my first cast. I cast it out, and we were going to the ramp. I had the trolling motor on while I was going to the ramp, and I cast it out. And as soon as I did like two rotations on my reel, I thought I was hung up. And I kind of just jerked it, and then it started fighting back, and I seen it come up and roll. Yeah. And, dude, I hurt my stomach because I jumped up real quick. And I told Tawny, I said, get the net. It's a 10-pounder. And it was, I think it was 8.4. It was 8.1 or 8.4. It's the biggest one I've caught, but it was
definitely 8.1.
Well, 3 pounds bigger than yours, so I'll take it.
That's true. But it's like a pond. It's like pond fishing.
I don't care. I do.
All right, let's. Scott Butler's got an 8.5. Jimmy beats us all with a 12.3.
The big one. I want to go to Florida and fish, Jimmy. I really do.
Dorsal fin is the easiest way to tell the difference in largemouth spots. Yeah, it is. I just not good at it. Yeah. Chris Zaldane would be a good one. Killer mustache he's got. Yep. First pick was Williamstown. Wow. I didn't know that. That's great. Williamstown must be underrated. Scott, you have to take us up there, buddy. Hey, so anyway, let's wrap up with this. I got an order from Omnia. Now, Omnia. If you are a bass fisherman, we have a group on Omnia, and you need to check this out, omnia.com. It is a way that you guys can view and post fishing reports for your favorite lakes, what lures you're using, and if people buy the lure from your fishing report, you get money back or you get credit to the store. So we got a little deal going on with them. We have a group. We have like 34 members in the group. I'm going to post the link. So if you fish, oh, holy cow, that's like a giant link. That's not the one I wanted. If you fish, I just want you to encourage you to go check out our group and sign up through this link, because we're working with them where we're going to be giving away some free stuff. Mm-hmm. We're going to be doing some fishing reports. We have some really good anglers signed up right now. Matthew Mattingly, he's killing it on there. He has so many. If you just went and you viewed Matthew Mattingly's fishing reports on Omnia, I promise you're going to be a better fisherman just because he's so descriptive on how he's doing it, on how he's fishing. So I'm going to put our link Want to invite others to join? Why, yes, I do. I'm going to put that in the comments here. And I want to get this group to 100. 100 members. We are at 34 right now. There might be some people in here on that. I don't see. I've reached out to some people. Thomas, I think I may have reached out to you. But I just put it in the link there. And so I just placed this order. A couple things. Whoa, just about dropped my computer. I started to tell Gerald that there was only one jackhammer in stock. They had hundreds in stock, but they put them on sale 25% off, and I missed it. But this is something I've never really been spinnerbait. I think it's spinnerbait. Never really been a chatterbait guy, but I'm going to stick to this jackhammer, and I'm going to make it work this year. I'm really excited.
Before you move on to the next one, I just want to ask a quick question. Has anyone tried, I think it's called the Slobber Knocker from Berkeley or whatever it is.
It is Berkeley Slobber Knocker.
Berkeley Slobber Knocker. I'm wondering how it compares to the jackhammer. I've used jackhammers. They're friggin' awesome. I just wonder how good the Slobber Knocker is in comparison to it. What y'all think?
Somebody mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't sure what it was. So here's two more things I'm just going to show you. Gerald talked about his dark horse for winning. This is my dark horse for just throwing something different. And I'm telling you, if you're throwing this like swimming it near grass edges or through some lay downs, if you don't want to get it hung up. But this right here, Mega Bass Dark Sleeper, dude, it will flat out catch them. It gets a lot of reaction bites, and they are very easy to get hung up. So this right here is one of my favorite change-up lures. They're kind of expensive, but I'm telling you, a lot of fish don't see them, especially around here in Kentucky, and it works. So here's another thing I'm excited about. I hate big baits. And so I like to downsize a lot. And I bought these small, this is Dirty Jigs. And if you're a fan of Tactical Bassin, Matt Allen, Tactical Bassin, if you're a fan of them, this is the Matt Allen Finesse swim jig head. Or I guess just, swim jig head. On a smaller size Kitech 3.3 swing impact. Those are three things. Those are the three things that I'm trying to improve on this year. You know, shaky heads love them, wacky rigs love them, Ned rigs love them. Those things, and the dark sleepers, I've used them a lot. But the finesse swim baits and the jackhammer are two things I'm really trying to get better at this year. But go check out Omnia, and hopefully we can give some stuff away once we build our group up. And we are going to build the group up.
I'll tell you what I like about Omnia is, a lot of people, they don't like to give away their fishing spots, and they don't like to give away what they're using and stuff. Here's the thing is, if you're on Kentucky Lake, one, if you think you're finding someone's spot, you're kidding yourself, because that's probably not going to happen. But here's what I like about it. There's one of my favorite things about it is if I go look at Matt Mattingly, he fishes Del Hollow quite a bit.
Yeah.
If I go look at his reports on Omnia, and I'm going to Del Hollow. I know I'm going to Del Hollow. Matt fishes it a lot, so I go look at his reports, and I see what he's catching them on. For instance, we'll say a drop shot, and I've never used a drop shot. I want to learn how to use a drop shot. Well, I know because Matt's catching them. Hey, he's catching them on a drop shot, so I'm going to tie on a drop shot, and I know for a fact that I can go there and try that new technique and maybe have success on it to get a little more confidence in it. That's one thing I love about it.
And let me add in there that you're not giving away your spots.
Not at all.
You're not giving away coordinates. We're just saying like, hey, fish secondary points. Well, if you say fish secondary points on most lakes, it's like, okay, there's thousands, right?
Yeah.
So, or fish, channel swings in on the main lake. Like, there are all kinds of things that are general information. But if I know to fish secondary points and I'm always using a football jig on those secondary points, but I read that Matt Mattingly's catching them on a red crankbait, DT6. Yep. I just make that switch. Bam, maybe I'm catching them now. Right. Maybe I was catching 2 fish on those points. Now I'm catching 6. I don't know. But the thing is, even if it doesn't get out there and you're just filling up your live well, it's allowing you to learn from other people.
Yeah.
And so what Josh and I have been doing is we're like, hey, let's pick out 2 or 3 different techniques that we may have used in the past, but we didn't master. And let's just focus on them this year. We'll write reports on them. We'll talk about them on our live, even if they don't work, even if we suck at them, right? Even if they don't work. So that's what we're doing. Jimmy, have a great weekend, man. Be safe and stay warm to you as well.
My big technique this year is going to be a scrounger head. Never used a scrounger head before. That's something I really want to learn.
Tennessee River, they use that.
Really want to learn how to use a scrounger head this year.
Bobby Smith said he just joined our group. Thank you, Bobby. We appreciate you. That gives us 35. I need 65 more. And we don't just want Kentucky lakes. I mean, that's where we live.
Everywhere.
But we want lakes all over, from California to Maine, from Canada to Florida.
Yeah.
So, and Lee was talking about St. Clair. Lee, it's one of my favorite places to fish. Oh, that's Bobby. Where was Lee? Lee, if you're still on here, I don't know if you are, but it's one of my favorite places to fish. Make sure you keep up with us on Thursday nights. That way you know when I'm coming, and maybe we can hit St. Clair together. Last time I was at St. Clair, Trudeau had shut down the border, and I couldn't fish the Canada side.
Jordan Friend just joined as well. Appreciate it,
Jordan.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Tennessee Bassmaster. What's it? Tennessee, tell us your name.
Yeah, what's your also, he said he wants to sign up. Can you post the link again?
I'm going to pin it to this conversation. Also, if you're in the Richmond area, you got a house for sale. I just saw the post that I made. So I'm going to go. What I'm going to do, Tennessee, is I'm going smalley fishing at St. Clair in June. Scott, I would love to go in June. I'd love to go in May, but that's not going to happen. I would love to go in June. I've been trying to get like 5 or 6 people to go with us with boats and just do a little fun, like weekend, competitive weekend, stay at the same place, fish, and you know,
have a good time.
I would love like a little St. Clair camp kind of. Danny Bassmaster. That's your new name on
Danny
here.
Bassmaster. I like it.
And he's been here every Thursday. And Danny, we really appreciate you. Everybody that shows up on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like, we just consider you guys part of our circle of friends and our online family, online community. So we appreciate you. And I'm going to find that maybe. Sometimes things just don't work when I want them to on Facebook.
When did you go to St. Clair?
It was in August of the COVID year, so 2020, and I've not been back, and I'm very upset about it. So, Scott, from what I've been told, June is when it starts to slow down. So if you go early June, you probably got a good chance. Late June is going to be slower. Like the third week of May, third week of May is when you go and you catch 100 fish in a day.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was there in August, which is another slow month. I didn't catch a ton of fish, but every fish I caught was very good quality. And that Megabass Dark Sleeper caught a bunch of largemouth, which I thought it was going to be smallmouth, but I caught a bunch of largemouth up there. Actually, I met a guy named John Carter on YouTube. He has I think it's called like Jesus Outdoors.
Sounds right.
It's a Christian YouTube channel, and he just messaged me and was like, "Hey, if you're going to be up here, holler at me and I'll take you around." And sure enough, man, we talked to a guy at the boat ramp. He said fish 15 feet of water out here, and we crushed them. It was a lot of fun.
Ryan McCarthy said, "Boys, can you get Davey? I want to say it's hot.
Davey Height. Yep.
Here before the Santee Cooper Elite Series. He's one of the absolute best in the industry, commentator and fisherman. Hey, man, we'll definitely try to. Definitely try to.
Yeah, Davey Height. Sounds great. Here's what I'm going to do. Danny, I'm going to post that again. All right, there it is. It's on. Oh, Danny's on YouTube. Danny, I don't know. Hold on. It's not come through right here.
We can also message it to him. Oh, no, we can't because he's on.
No, I can make sure that it that he sees it on the YouTube channel too.
Okay.
Pinned comment. Okay, I just pinned it. So if you're on Facebook, the comment's pinned. But on YouTube, Danny, I'll make sure you get it, brother. I promise you. So yeah, Davey Height would be a good one. Here's the thing: we have all the contact information for Bassmaster anglers. We literally have their phone numbers, their email addresses for everyone in Bassmaster, the Elite Series, from Gerald to Matt Robertson to Carl, all those.
Everybody.
We don't have that list for Major League Fishing. So we have to contact them through social media. I'm working on it, but they're very difficult to get a hold of. Their media people are.
They are.
So if you have any contacts, like we were watching Matt Lee at Redcrest. He finished 5th, I think, and we said, hey, maybe we can reach out to John Smith, to reach out to Jordan, to reach out to Matt, and come on. So, that's just what you got to do. It's the grind, baby. It's the grind. Yeah. Tennessee, the group name is Eastern Outdoors Media on Omnia. My buddy Jason Clem, who fishes Norris, and we got a lot of Norris and Cherokee guys on there. I sent him the link. He said he couldn't figure it out. And 1 week later, he messaged me out of the blue and said, hey, I figured it out. I'm like, it took you a week to figure that out.
Lee King just signed up. Lee, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Lee signed up. Bobby signed up.
Now, I may be wrong on this. I ain't 100% sure, but was Lee was he the one from Canada?
He is, yeah.
From Canada. Thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching.
Thomas to sign up. Oh, the largemouth at Norris Cherokee like the dark sleeper too. Okay. Nice. So I started a new job. I'm selling real estate full-time, but I started a new job with a company called Urge Media. We work with outdoor brands on like the Outdoor Channel, Pursuit Channel. What's the other one? Sportsman's Channel. So I'm doing that Mondays and Tuesdays, and my office is literally on Green River Lake. So I've only fished it a couple times, but I'm going to start taking my boat to work on Mondays and Tuesdays, and I'm going to be fishing there. So I'm excited about that. Let's see. Yes, welcome. I'll sign up after the show. We appreciate you, Thomas. And actually, I think it's probably a good time to get off here. Ellis is sitting over here waiting on me to walk her to bed because she's scared of the dark. And now she don't want to because she's playing a game. But hey, Lee, man, we appreciate you, brother, and we appreciate you being here. I think last Tuesday we had like 7 different states on here. Yep. People watching from 7 different states. We always have Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky. We love the Canadians and being on here. You guys can fish. We're trying to get up to Canada this summer and fish and bear hunt. Don't know if it'll work out, but we're trying to.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, we appreciate you guys. Gerald was the big draw, but you guys have stuck around and listened to us just talk about a lot of, nonsense and fishing and Josh's exaggerated personal best. And so
jealousy is not attractive, John.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. And next Thursday, I don't know if we'll be able to go live because we'll be in Knoxville at the Classic, but we'll have tons of video. We'll have tons of interviews. And I think we're going to have a lot of good stuff for you guys just to keep a lookout for.
Hey,
we might go live briefly.
Don't forget, turkey camp's coming up too. Turkey camp's right around the corner. Right around the corner.
He just ruined it. He just ruined it, man. We had so much momentum with the
I ruined it. Get that turkey call out. Let's hear you call.
No. It's a bass fishing show. I don't even know where it is. That's in a junk pile somewhere. Anyway, guys, we're just best friends. We love you guys. Thanks for being here. Join us Tuesday night. I think we have maybe, I don't know. Maybe Bo Brooks, who is a phenomenal turkey caller on. So if you're a turkey hunter, join us on Tuesday. If not, we'll be there. And then next Thursday, we'll see. We'll be in Knoxville, Major League Fishing, Bassmaster. It's going to be a good time. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Go Cats. Tomorrow night. Go Cats.